Hi, everyone. We are Lasso. We are the software platform to make carbon neutral agriculture a reality. The food industry is the second largest source of greenhouse gas emissions, with the majority of these emissions coming from beef and dairy. To put that into context, cattle emissions are double the emissions of all vehicles in the US and Europe combined. The industry needs to act now. Multiple stakeholders are pursuing change. First, regulators. First mover regions are announcing tax penalties on agriculture emissions, and others are following suit. Second, investors. The SEC is reviewing options for mandatory climate-related disclosures. And finally, consumers, with 76% now willing to pay 10 to 50% more for carbon-reduced milk. But it's not only pressures. Governments have put in place incentives of over $300 billion in the past year to support companies and farmers in reducing their emissions. As a result, 80% of the beef and dairy market announced commitments to significant reductions and are looking for solutions. However, meeting these commitments today is impossible. Let's take a multinational corporation like Bell as an example. Bell is a $3 billion French dairy company. Bell has almost 2,000 farms in their supply chain across 9 global dairy basins. These farms represent over 70% of its carbon footprint, and therefore, to meet its sustainability commitments, it has to work with each of these farms. What does this look like today for one farm? They have to spend on average 80 hours per farm on many phone calls or farm visits to get over 100 data points like herd, feed, and energy usage. Then they have to spend tens of hours using that data to calculate a carbon footprint, manually fill in forms, and sift through on-farm interventions just to bring these emissions reductions to life. And even when they have the data, the management and storage is a mess of hundreds of Excel spreadsheets and unconnected databases. When it comes to mandatory reporting, it becomes a crunch of pulling the data together and praying it's accurate. Now, imagine doing this 2,000 times. It is impossible for a company like Bell to meet these commitments with this level of complexity. Lasso radically improves this process. We integrate with on-farm software systems to pull and update needed information so that the Bells of the world can receive data from all 2,000 other farms over 10 times faster. We then use that data to provide analytics at a farm-specific level on their carbon footprint and the optimal way to reduce that footprint, providing insights that they previously didn't have. We can also autofill paperwork in less than half the time than today. We can then take that farm-specific data and aggregate it on a regional and global level to one single platform instead of compiling across disparate Excel spreadsheets. This is mandatory data they need to get money from regulators, investors, and consumers. To do so, we charge a company like Bell a per farm fee of $500, leading us to tackle a huge and growing market. We are starting with the $1.5 billion dairy and beef market first because of the largest environmental impact and therefore demand to reduce emissions. We will then expand to the $2.5 billion other livestock market and then more broadly to food and beverage, overall tackling a huge and growing market. We went live with our first enterprise customer, Organic Valley, last month, and we now almost have 2,000 farms on our platform. We're thrilled that they love the product so much, they've asked us to sign a 5-year extended contract to not lose access to it. This contract could grow to over $1 million annually. And our broader customer response has been unbelievable. We're at over 100,000 ARR. We'll close next quarter at 300,000 and will grow to $1 million by year end. We are the team to tackle this. I'm a proud Wisconsinite who grew up down the street from dairy farms with a background in chemical engineering, startups, and sustainability. While David was previously building digital products at McKinsey in Europe for both corporate teams and low digital literacy audiences. This is just the beginning. Today, we are the software platform for emissions decisions, but in the future, we will be the AI platform to drive all operational decisions on farm. Join us in powering the carbon neutral future behind our world's food systems.